Hi everyone. I've had another picnic and I want to share about this as well as the photos I took with each of you so you're able to benefit from it, especially for the people who aren't able to get out and really enjoy this time of year. These photos are from the Moira River area of Belleville, Ontario, Canada. I had a truly lovely time. So what you're looking at on the screen here is the meal that I had. It's a club wrap from Swiss Chalet, and I selected a Caesar salad. Because of my physical disability, family members send me restaurant gift cards for my birthday and Easter. It's a wonderful present. It's helpful, it's practical, and it's really encouraging when this happens. I didn't ask for this. It was a complete surprise when it started. But in terms of having someone in your life that's got a physical disability and you can't heal them or help them heal, providing food is one of the ways that you're able to help that does make a tangible difference. What you're looking at is the scenery that I enjoyed while I was eating. The city of Belleville has invested heavily in bike and pedestrian access. This is the observation area of a pedestrian bridge that's over the Moira River. I wasn't in anyone's way, parking my wheelchair there and having the camera tripod out. I really enjoyed it and just how peaceful it was. There were some people down there fishing. It's its own little subculture where I live. In fact, when I was down there a few weeks ago, I saw someone magnetic fishing. It was really enjoyable. I'm always glad when I've got out and been able to get down there. Off on the upper right corner is a bar and a patio that has undergone a lot of renovations recently, and the patio cantilevers over top of the water for sort of one width of a picnic table and chairs. There's often live music when we're down there during the evening hours, especially on the weekends. I really enjoyed this. I must have been parked there for about 10 or 15 minutes. It was just peaceful. After I ate my meal, I took my camera and switched it into photography mode. And what I want to share now are the 20 or so pictures and one video clip that I took while I was going around and exploring. It was overcast. In fact, it got quite overcast by the time I headed home. I always enjoy looking up at the sky. I've got a drone pilot certificate issued by Transport Canada. Part of it involves weather and what technical weather questions for me to maintain my drone pilot certificate recurring training. So I get interested in the cloud patterns. The city has a number of these hanging flower baskets. They're off the various utility poles. I may have showed one of them like this my last time I was down there. I always enjoy seeing them, especially the size of them. It wouldn't be practical for me to have this large of a size off my home, where I've got some hooks outside. But it's always cheery seeing them. what caught my attention here was the rock formations, all the rocks they're showing right now on the far side of the river. It's interesting how the water level changes each year. These weren't visible last year, but if we go back 3 years from then, it was dry, and you couldn't canoe a river down. You couldn't take your canoe down the river because the water level just was not deep enough for it. Anyway, I enjoyed seeing the rocks and just sort of the random nature of them. This is City Hall. You may have caught this in the bit that I showed from when I was eating. I thought it was pretty with the Canadian flag flapping around. And I was trying to time a picture right where the flag would fully display the maple leaf. I haven't done a great job of it. Here are some of the Canadian geese that I drove past. This particular group is tame. They're used to people going past on the trails, and it's not a big deal. There are others that I've gone past, for example, when I'm heading up to the grocery store or Home Depot, and those particular ones well earn their common name of a cobra chicken. I've been flapped by these Canadian geese while going past on the cement path with my wheelchair. But anyway, I was enjoying these ones with them being tame. This is another one of the hanging baskets. I really enjoy seeing these. It's just beautiful. I like the idea of the rocks being in the flower garden here. And I really liked that plant. I have no idea what it is. Grandma Pigott was absolutely amazing in her gardening. And it reminded me of one of the plants Grandma had in her window at the kitchen sink. I liked the idea of the picket fence and this particular flower plant in front of it. We grew these ones and this particular shade of sort of pink in front of my home as a child growing up. Dad and Mom had sort of a wavy flower garden out front, and they took care of it for all that matters. It was pleasant seeing these. Here's some other plants. I don't have a sweet clue what their names are. I like the different colors though, and sort of where they were grouped together. Why I took this picture was the tree there that's got in the water. I'll share it with the city where I live later. I don't believe that they want a tree in the water. What you're looking at is a car bridge for traffic, and then in the middle one there, that's another vehicle bridge, and just there's this third bridge just under that you can catch a brief glimpse at, and in the center area there is where I ate my meal. I thought this might give some perspective of it. The upper left corner, the orange brick building, is a St. Vincent de Paul. It's one of the charity shops here. They're very respectful. If you genuinely are in need, they will give out clothing, and it's done in a wonderful way. I've seen it being done, and they treat the clients with respect. As I've seen with other cities in the United States, there's a homeless population here, and it's interesting to see the organizations that have stepped up to try and help. This gets off the video for a bit, but I do believe that to deal with the homeless population, it needs to have built relationships, and especially ones that are trusted and nurtured over time. And when you're giving away some clothes, you get an opportunity to talk to someone and start that process. Why I took this second photo of the tree is it amazed me to see the birds that had moved in and made this their habitat. There's none in the picture if you're looking closely to find one. I didn't get it in time, but I still thought it was pretty. I also liked the look of that against the water. That struck me as being pretty. Now, full disclosure, my camera's not taking the picture correctly. The sky was not that orange. It was a hue of orange, but the camera's amplified it. Where I'm at now is near the Belleville. I think it's the Belleville Yacht Club. Or no, that's the Belleville Marina. The Belleville Yacht Club's in a minute. I like looking at the boats. There is a sailability program here where I live where they crane people in wheelchairs onto sailboats and take you out kind of like a train, and then you're set free to float for about an hour, and then you get hooked back up, and that's the day's activity. It's something I'm thinking about doing. I wanted to share this group of townhouses. If you watch my videos, you'll have seen these before because of the Christmas yard decorations. The people that own this group of townhouses really do go all out in decorations, yard decorations, the plants, the Christmas. There's the Canada flag there. And there's other decorations on the front side, like wreaths hanging off of a door, for example. I enjoyed seeing this, and when I'm down here, I do look to see what they have out in their yards. It's also interesting seeing how some of the patio areas have been enclosed. I bet you during the winter months it'd be really relaxing to go back there, and do a crossword puzzle or have your tea or whatever. What I wanted you to see in this picture was the trees reflecting in the water. That's close, but that same reflection's not visible in the water that's actually moving. So there were different sailboats out while I was down there, and I stopped to watch them for a few minutes. I got really fortunate with this particular picture with the two boats on either side facing, and then the one going left to right. The timing was just impeccable. It really looks like fun. This one made me chuckle. There's the old expression, peace, love, and rock and roll. Apparently this needed to be updated for the 2020s, peace, love, and Wi-Fi. I wanted to share this. I have no idea who owns the vehicle, but it did put a huge grin on my face while I was down there. These are some other sailboats that people had out. I had a really rough time taking this picture. I was trying to decide what was level or what was going to be horizontal, and I've still not done it right, I see. Yeah, Every now and then I screw it up pretty good. I don't think it would work that way because all the sailboats would be heading north up to Tweed and, north of 7. This is another look at all these Canadian geese. So when I was with my wheelchair, I just slowed it down and I stayed to the right side, and the birds took the cue from me and they just moved over, and it was just slow and steady, going a little bit slower than walking pace, but still maintaining momentum. And the birds took the cue from me and just went to the left side as I was going past. It's supposed to be a bike trail. That's the idea of the divided line. And it sort of works. But people aren't all stuck up if, when I'm taking pictures and I'm parked on the path, people gladly switch to the other side and it's no big deal. I caught these ones flying overhead. I've watched documentaries about wind testing representing birds flying in formation. So the one at the very front, it'll be 4 birds in on the right side, is taking the brunt of the force. But those birds being spaced like that maximize what they're able to do and how far they're able to fly before they need to stop. There's a really interesting experiment taking place with the European Aviation, EASA, the European Aeronautics Space Agency, I think is what it's called. They're testing airplanes flying in formation over the Atlantic and the fuel savings that's able to be attained while still being safe. And I see this in nature and happen to think it's a great way of reducing fuel and a very practical way of helping reduce the emissions that those particular flights create, where they would kind of change who's in the lead halfway through the flight across the Atlantic. Very interesting idea. Why I'm talking about all this is Newfoundland, Canada. There's the Gander ATC station, and they are Canada's side of planes transiting the ocean. This is a further look at the Canadian geese flying overhead. So I had this picnic on August the 30th. The birds are starting to migrate because the weather changing to colder seasons. It's really amazing how these, we run around by our day schedules where the animals are able to read the seasons and know when they need to get up and pack and, off they go to a warmer climate. There's not Canadian geese to speak of where I live, during the winter months. I thought these 2 ducks high up on the screen were just striking. If I could have moved the other 5 that are on the screen, I would have. They looked really pretty to me. I liked that. They looked peaceful. I wanted to share a little bit of footage so you could enjoy what I was seeing. Everybody's getting along, the different Canadian geese and the ducks. I like them more in the water too. So why I took this picture was the lights over that balcony reminded me of the annual Christmas lights video that I make of the various yard decorations. I also thought it was attractive. They don't have the camera quite in focus on this particular picture though. It's hard trying to get it right when the light from outside's going down, and it gets harder to see the screen on my camera. The building that you're looking at is the courthouse. I've never been inside there. I didn't say that in terms of criminal, because there's other reasons why you would file legal paperwork that aren't crime-based. It's a striking video, or a striking building. This is near my home where I live. In fact, I sent an email. No, sorry, I sent a letter to the administrators of it back about 4 months ago, asking if it would be okay if I used their Wi-Fi in the event of a power outage where I live for emergency communications. We had a really bad storm here where two storm systems met over top of the city, and my power was only out for 4 hours, but that was fortunate in terms of a tree being struck by lightning and being a safety hazard to humans with where it landed. Other parts of the city weren't brought back online for 2 days. I don't know what I would do for a full 2 days without having electricity because of my legs. Anyway, I wanted to share this. And that is the last photo that I took. I hope you've enjoyed this. I like sharing the photos that I take. Try to take care of yourselves. Part of why I went down there and had this particular picnic was because the summer months haven't gone well in terms of my physical disability. But it's amazing, when I got home from this, the things that were bothering me before I went down there were gone. And I was so glad I did it and was so glad I got out. Okay, I hope everyone's having a good day. Bye for now.